Okay, so my name is Frantz. I am from France, but I live in Greece, in Athens. I'm used to travel. I'm used to live abroad, which doesn't mean that sometimes I consider myself as a citizen of the world, because I like to catch differences, and I like the local area things. And what do you want to know more, for example? Okay, for me, what is sustainability? It's a way of life of someone who likes the time, of someone who likes the past, of someone who likes the history, our roots, and of someone who likes the future, our evolution, and so our sustainability. Yeah. Well, they meet in the present, as you said, and sometimes I'm a bit afraid that our generation, we always say to our generation, we don't have to make the same error than the past, and we have to think about the future. But what about us? I mean, can we enjoy sometimes, or we just enjoy? And I think we have to enjoy responsibly, but we still have to enjoy. We cannot be in between the past and the present and the future. I mean, the present has to be there, and by living the present, we also are making what all the generation before were doing. We have to be sustainable in this way of doing, and in this way of thinking, and in this way of enjoying the present also. About global citizenship, globalization, etc. It's true that without globalization I would not be in front of you right now, and you will not be in front of me right now. So that's great in this sense. I think that for our generation, that's a perfect timing, because we can reach the world, and we can meet the cultural differences when we wish the world. Before, we could not reach the world. It was let's say that the world was quite closed, and it is still closed for some people. But let's speak about you and me. And so before we could not reach the world, and maybe in the future we will be able very easily to reach the world. But to reach what? If we are going to reach the same people than us, because globalization has made us all the same, there is no point to reach the world. So we have to think that maybe our children and our, let's say, grandchildren, we also have the need to meet the differences, and to be able to, when they go to Colombia, they see some Colombians, when they go to Colombia way of life. That's why, yeah, that's my main point here, you know. Yes, to allow the next generation to do the same than we are doing.
And how do you think we can preserve that?
How do you think we can get the best out of globalization without losing culture or cultural differences?
I do believe in processes, maybe even more than in humans. I mean, a process which is not sustainable is a process that will not last. And this globalization is not sustainable in terms of environment, in terms of social, in terms of cultures, and so in terms of people. And because it will not last, and because it's not sustainable, it will not last. I think the responsibility of our generation is not to see if it will last or not, is to make it the end of what we know, the less violent as possible. Because in Europe you have a lot of people, they are against globalization, but they are against in a violent way. And so maybe we can be not exactly against globalization, but we can just take a step back on globalization and see what will be the outcomes of globalization, the good and the bad. And it's not only about just waiting for the good or trying to avoid the bad, it's just to think about them and to say, okay, our generation, we can still have, let's say, a bit of power on that, and let's speak, at least, let's speak about it. And the real speech, the real discussion, as we were speaking yesterday, the discussion when there is not an audience and a speaker, the discussion when we really can speak and when we feel free to speak. For example, I will tell you myself, I left France because I was not really feeling free to speak. I was feeling judged, I was feeling uncomfortable, etc. And well, I mean, the freedom to speech is great, and I think Nelis, for example, helps a lot on that. It helps a lot to speak, but to speak with some freedom and to say what you think, and from your values, from your culture, and then let's share it. You don't like it, you say it, it's fine. You can say that I don't like these things, or I don't understand this. Why not? The humans have done it since thousands of years. We will not change this. It's nice to say that I don't like sometimes what you do. It means that I respect you also, because when you respect somebody, you speak horizontally with this somebody. I mean, it means that I will tell you what I don't like. I don't treat you like a children. I will tell you, no, this is what you are doing right now. It's not fine, but it doesn't mean that I'm right. I just want us to be allowed to say this. I believe that Nelis is not exactly an idea. For me, Nelis is a methodology. It's a methodology of gathering. It's a way of gathering. It's a way of discussing. It's a way of finding solution. And for me, it's really important the way we do that. For example, we are not exactly speaking about a guy speaking and the audience. Why I should provide something to the audience? Why not the audience can provide something to us? And from this, I believe that Nelis has a lot to do in this, and it would be great to do the same, to replicate in the public area what we are doing in private. The pre-session, the post-session, when we are going to the pub, when we are going to speak, when we are going to breakfast in the morning, we are still Nelis. It's still Nelis. Nelis is not it's not a matter of timing. It's a matter of people inside of it. Yeah.
How do you imagine
Okay.
it's in for it?
Something quite concrete would be, for example, why not to make to have people attending a workshop, but they don't even know they are attending a workshop. It's been prepared before. It's a lot of preparation before. However, it would be great because they will not know that they are attending a workshop. They don't come there with the mind, I am attending a workshop. They are just there speaking. And finally, that will provide something. And what we don't know. I mean, I think we will not even have objectives. The objective would be to say, okay, we are gathering. Let's see what it takes. So maybe it will not provide something very interesting. Maybe yes, and we will see. Yeah. That's the idea. Let's say.
And
it's like with cultures. The moment you are categorizing a culture, you kill the culture. Because it is the people. The moment you name sometimes also the culture, you kill the culture. Because the people they understand that they are part of culture, but they are other cultures, and so the culture is weakened. It's in danger by the moment you name it. I think it's the same. If you start naming the discussion, it's in danger. The discussion. It's not a discussion. We don't care whatever we call it. We are just speaking. Let's see. It's now like now we are improvising. So that's the best. I think. Yeah.
Do you what do you work?
Yeah, well, I am the director of a consulting firm which is called Originals, and we precisely work on cultures. We are working on cultural sustainability, which means, let's say, that we try to find a solution on how the cultures today can be both integrated to the global area, but by also preserving who they are, which is not easy, and which is not easy for nobody. Not only for example, the indigenous communities in the Amazon, but for every culture, which is a bad point, but which is also a great point, because everybody is aware that we are all facing the same issue. Whoever you are, French, Colombians from the Amazon, etc. I mean, that's we are trying to do in a global way, and what we do more concretely, we help companies, big ones, to promote and respect the local culture under their influence, and to reduce, if they have some, their, let's say, negative cultural impact. Yeah. For example, you have a company, mining firms, destroying the mountains in Colombia. They are not only destroying the mountains physically. They are destroying the symbol for some communities. And these communities, if these mountains represent their god, you destroy the mountain, you destroy them. They are not a community anymore. And so this is the kind of action we try to do, and at least we try to make companies aware of that. And we also try to make companies that it's for also their own sustainability. Because if they have problems with the local communities everywhere, they will be rejected everywhere. Especially today, where the identity is becoming an issue and let's say a source of tension. We say to companies, look what is happening. We were told, we say to company, look what is happening. We were told that globalization was going to lead to convergence, but it's not. It is at some point going to convergence, but because it is going to convergence, people are also coming back from their roots, their local, whatever it's regional, local or national, we don't care. But this is what is really happening. And the companies there start to be aware of this. Yeah, we call this context a post-globalized context, a context created by globalization, which doesn't mean, I hope, that we will all become the same, that we will all become individuals. really don't like these terms of individuals. Yeah, we are all individuals, but for sure we are. But we are also humans, not because we are individuals with big brains. We are humans because we are cultural animals who need to live in communities. The moment we are only individuals, we are not humans anymore. And that's a good point, because that's true. By definition, that's true. You can still continue living, but you will not be a human anymore. You will not be part of the humanity anymore, because you will not have your culture. Yeah, this is what we are doing.
And maybe how do you feel this exercise of next leader initiatives for sustainability to gather, to share? How do you feel that provides tools or helps your research and your exercise in cultural?
It does. I met quite some people. With us, we don't have exactly the same approach of sustainability, and however, finally, I'm sure that we could become partner at some point on this kind. So it does concretely, but I think it also does, let's say, philosophically, in the sense that I also change a bit my mindset. I will tell you something. When I came here, for me, from France, sustainability is a bit something for rich people. They see it really like this. Because you are okay economically, because you are okay with your family, it's fine. You start having another issue and it's becoming sustainability. I was a bit this mindset. However, what I see is that when you start speaking with people and expressing yourself, they start also to be aware of what you are doing, and they start to understand. Because to speak, for example, about identity to people who like sustainability at first point, it's very difficult. They will say, what is this? Identity for me is nationalism. Identity for me is something, a source of tension, is Trump, etc. We say, look, but we have to deal with that. I mean, we have to deal with that, and so that I was very happy to that, because I was not sure at all that it would work. I was hoping, I was afraid to feel very uncomfortable, not to be able to speak, not to be able to say what I think, etc. But I do. I do, and not because of me, I do because of the others. And I think I do because of the philosophy of Nelis, and when they come here, people are quite open. But I see so, yeah.
Okay. Have any more questions?
No.
No. Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Frantz.
Thank you. Thank you.